All right, so let's talk about some adjustments for defense, offense, and what we're gonna see this upcoming week. So, I mean, on defense, we've been pretty solid. I mean, been averaging only giving up, 1 to 2 touchdowns a game. Really, only 1 touchdown a game, really. But let's talk about it here. So this is the offensive line here. Our basic defense we normally play is with the quarters. Call it base. And everybody in quarters. You got a linebacker right here. His responsibility is usually the lineman. Any one of these guys going out. And if they all block, his responsibility is the quarterback. If the quarterback happens to step up, because these guys are getting blocked, if there's a step-up lane, he's supposed to take that away. So normally, there's no help in the middle of the field if this linebacker has to step up and this guy runs a slant. This guy has to stay with him. Or if this guy runs a seam and he runs a drag, this guy has to come with him here, because this is where communication comes into play, because if this guy's taking out the play up the field on the seam, this corner, he has to stay with this wide receiver here. If not, he's just playing air. So that was a couple mistakes that happened in the Outsiders game where they was running seams and slants and drags, and the middle of the field was wide open. There was a couple big plays they got off on that touchdown drive. So that's something that we want to work on. Let's talk about when we play cover 3, how does it look? So when we're playing cover 3, this guy's about 10 to 12 yards back. So it's pretty simple. He got deep middle of the field. He got deep third sideline, deep third sideline. Now these inside guys, they're playing anything underneath, so hook to curl, outs, slants, pretty much anything underneath. Now what we will do far as, the vulnerability spot is the middle of the field right here. Meaning that if we send 3, the lineman release to the middle of the field, they can get some completions there. So sometimes we'll either rush 2 and have this guy drop back to the middle of the field. It kind of just depends on the down and distance, but it's pretty much the cover 3 formation. And sometime on this cover 3, y'all can, definitely don't want to be more than 5 yards off, but sometimes you can come up and press. Make it more difficult, and when you press, look to this outside receiver, because this guy may run a corner route, and this inside receiver runs a slant coming right to you. Be an easy interception. So always look for the route coming inside, and it's all communication between you and other DB on your same side. So pretty much simple. That's the cover 3 scheme. There's going to be some times when we're playing where, we'll just have to go man. Y'all can communicate. A lot of times, man, y'all can come up and challenge these receivers. Especially in the first game we're going to play, we probably play more base. And that's because they're going to be sending the center out every play. So we'll be in the base. The center's going out, every play, whether it's to the flats or up the field. So this linebacker is pretty much going to be man with this center every play when we play united. So that means we'll have a free rusher at the quarterback every single play. So what would need to happen is, man, y'all can really come up and challenge, because, he's getting the ball out of his hands right now. So that's just something to think about. And, of course, we'll make adjustments when they start releasing multiple people. I guess we can talk about the D-line play. So normally I'm going to communicate and put everybody in the best position to win. Remember, as a D lineman, always stay outside and contain, prevent the quarterback from rolling. Because anytime you go inside, I mean, there's so much time for the quarterback to roll out and find somebody, throw the ball, or just run if there's a mobile quarterback. So always stay outside for the D lineman. Also, always rush. Even if your guy releases out, always rush. Make the quarterback throw the ball quickly, because normally we're always going to have the linebacker who's going to pick that release up. Or if we're in the cover 3 scheme, if he runs to the flats, switching it to cover 3. I'll put it there. If he runs to the flats, then even if he runs out there, this guy's going to pick it up, because this guy's going straight to the safety anyway. So, you know, always rush for the D lineman. Some other calls that I'll make for the D lineman is I'll tell them to read, which means I want you to read this guy. Engage and read him. If he goes out for a pass, you stay with him. You know, if he blocks, you know, you right there to pursue the quarterback. So that's the call when I tell guys to read the lineman. And that just puts less stress on the linebacker where we're in a quarters formation. Because the linebacker, I mean, if one guy goes here and then one guy goes here, the linebacker can't check 2 people. So I tell you to read this guy, so the linebacker only has to worry about these 2 guys going out. So, you know, and normally what I'll do is I'll rush from this side so there's still a contain lane, you know, to the quarterback. Hopefully all that makes sense. Yeah, another thing I'll say is there's times when I tell the D lineman to play both gaps. I'm going to tell y'all exactly what I mean by that. So what I'll tell him to do is I'll tell this guy, this D lineman, play both gaps. So what I want him to do is engage and just sit and play both gaps. So we're coming hard over here. So the quarterback is going to have no choice but to step up either here or here. So all he got to do is sit right there and play both gaps. And that's a lot of times I do that when we're when the linebacker is, we might be in a 5 across or we're in a cover 3, so there's nobody in the middle of the field. To take away the step-up lane for the quarterback. Or for whatever reason, I'm not just beating my man, you know, and stacking him and getting straight to the quarterback, where he's actually getting enough of me for the quarterback to step up. But that don't usually happen that often. So we don't have to really, you know, worry about that too much. But that's just the calls that we'll make depending on the situation. Okay. But pretty much oh yeah, one other thing I'm just going to talk about real quick, and that'll probably be the end of this video. Real quick and simple that I forgot to talk about on defense was anytime they motion across and this becomes trips, obviously What I prefer is this linebacker to stay in his position because I'm communicating with him on what's going on. But whoever comes over, this guy's going to come down. He's going to have to play underneath. This guy still got sideline. The guy who motions over, he has the seam. So it pretty much motions to a cover 3 on that side. You know, anytime. So this guy just had to come down. Anything underneath, hook the curls, you know, this is his responsibility. Or sometimes if y'all communicate, depending on the down and distance, y'all can just play 3-man lanes straight across. And always this guy, he's one-on-one. Man, one-on-one. There's no help coming inside, so, you know, you just got to do what you got to do over there. But that's pretty much it. Cool. Let's talk about offense and what we're going to see against United. They're going to play a lot of cover 3. I mean, they're going to run pretty much a basic formation. So, I mean, United's going to play a cover 3. These guys are going to be underneath, hook the curl to flats, deep thirds, deep thirds. So, I mean, obviously, you know, we already been talked about with the how to beat the cover 3, the seams. You know, we can run corners and hitches. But, I mean, I'm not going to spend too much on the play calling. But just letting you know, against United, we're going to see pretty much cover 3 a lot. Against Raiders, they're going to pretty much play more of a 4-cross, like our base defense. So this linebacker is going to be sitting about 5 to 7 yards, and they're just going to keep everything in front. So there'll be opportunities for us to run posts and lineman release out, you know. But like I said, I ain't gonna spend too much time on the offensive play calling, but just kind of know what the base defense we're gonna see against those two teams. What I will say is wide receivers, always make sure you're running your routes hard and coming off the ball explosive. If you come off the ball and run a lazy route, this DB is just going to sit, and he's just going to come up and try to pick the ball or break up the play. And it's hard for the quarterback, you know, to understand what you're trying to do. So come off the ball hard and explosive and run your routes through. Another thing is always run your routes. You know, what we don't want to see happen is receivers to end up in the same location or on the same level. Like, there's no reason these guys should be crossing and running into each other. And that's something that we've seen on tape. So whatever the quarterback tells you your route is, run your route. A lot of times people say, well, I'm being checked or it's not open, but a lot of times the route isn't to get you open. It may be to get the other guy open. So always run your routes. Given. Unless we're in a scramble situation and the quarterback's outside the pocket, then you know, come back to the quarterback and get open. Make yourself available where he can see you. We're probably going to change up the blocking scheme a little bit in this game. Where what we're going to do is before where we had the guards kind of tight, what we're going to do is widen them out a little bit. That way, when these guys rush, there's more room for the quarterback to step up. And normally the blockers are pushing these guys out, pushing them out. And there's more room for the quarterback to step up and actually have a throwing lane or a running lane if need be. What we'll also will do against United, what they like to do It's like I said, they'll be in a cover 3. They'll be switching up how many times they rush 2 or 3, but a lot of times they're going to be rushing 2, and this guy's just going to sit and play shallow middle of the field. So they'll rush 1, 2, and he's sitting playing shallow middle of the field. What I was about to say against the Raiders, they're going to rush 3 every time from what we've seen on tape. So there's going to be some times when we bring an extra blocker in. And that will allow the center to go out for routes, you know, and this guy can pick up the block. And then we can kind of get creative where, you know, this guy can go out for a route and this guy can block him and the center blocks. You know, just kind of get creative. That way it kind of throws the defense off a little bit. But you just put a little stress on the center where he doesn't have to worry about snapping and getting the ball back to the quarterback, who should be about 12 to 15 yards back. You know, he can just snap, go out for his route, and this guy's blocking him straight up the middle, and there's still a step-up lane. And at the QB position, anytime one of these guys go inside the guard, roll out. This guy's going to seal him. It's a roll out. Now we have plenty of time for wide receivers to get open. Or you can just take off and run.